and gentlemen, welcome back to the Law and Crime Network. I'm Heather Hansen, and we have got a full afternoon for you. We are waiting to go back live in the courtroom in the Florida versus Jonchuck case. But in the meantime, we have someone who is live in the courthouse. This is Josh Solomon, who is a local reporter. Welcome back, Josh.
Hi there, Heather. How are you? I
am great, and we're so happy to have you here. I wanted to ask you about the testimony of Jonchuck's mother. You know, she was called by the prosecution. Yeah. This is a woman, Michelle, but she's known as Mama by the family and specifically by poor little Phoebe. But then again, she was called by the defense. What did you think of that strategy? What were the differences in her testimony?
Yeah, so she was called by the state earlier in the week, mostly to talk about whether Phoebe could swim and whether her son, Jonchuck, knew that Phoebe couldn't swim. But her testimony there was really limited. The direct examination was specific to swimming. And she was called back today by the defense to talk more about some erratic behavior on her son's part. She talked about how, you know, prior to Phoebe's death, Jonchuck had concerns about Chinese drywall, like invading the house and turning food and the walls black. Michelle said, of course, that didn't happen. He talked strangely about all of a sudden perhaps casting doubt on his paternity of Phoebe, which, as far as I know, is something we haven't heard before. But the defense tried to chalk that up as Jonchuck, you know, just not being of sound mind. So really, this testimony today for the defense was trying to make, frankly, her son sound as strange as possible.
Yeah, it seems to be most of the defense witnesses, that is their job. How do you think she did? What was your feel after having heard her testify for the state and then for the defense? If you take them and weigh them against each other, do you think she came out stronger as a witness for the defense or for the prosecution?
You know, this is just my take. Of course, I'm not a legal analyst or a juror, but I think that listening to what she talked about today in terms of just how strange her son has been acting, I mean, I think she was probably a stronger witness for the defense.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think that, you know, it's an interesting thing to see her called to the stand because, you know, John, the defendant, had such a healthy dislike for her for so long, and yet her testimony may, for some of those jurors, have been just the thing that saves him in this case. We anticipate that this case may go as long as April 17th. Do you have any sense, are you hearing any scuttlebutt around the courthouse as to what to expect from the defense?
Yes, so the defense has now moved on to their expert witnesses. We have a Dr. Mackless on the stand right now. He's a forensic psychologist. They'll come back on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. We all have Monday off with more expert testimony, and then I expect that the defense will wrap their case Wednesday or Thursday. Of course, then the state is going to make their own insanity case to try to cast doubt on the defense's insanity case. And so if you just keep counting the days, this trial has another 2 weeks to go.
Yeah, it's the expert testimony is going to get very interesting, I'm sure, with the battle of the experts that we always see in these cases. Right. Have you seen any of the jurors milling around outside the courtroom or have any sense of how well they're paying attention?
I mean, they seem to be wrapped with this testimony. They're looking at the witnesses, they're looking at the lawyers, they're looking at Jonchuck, they're taking notes. I mean, they seem to be very engaged, and they're asking a lot of questions, which I think is, you know, indicative of an attentive jury.
Yes, I couldn't agree with you more. It's always of value to see whether they're asking questions and what kind of questions they're asking. So, Josh, thank you so much. It's always so nice to have someone inside the courtroom reporting back to us, so we appreciate you.
Heather, thank you so much for having me.
Have a good afternoon.